Hello, I'm going to walk you through the first couple stanzas of The Raven. So let me explain this OneNote page to you. You have 4 pieces that you're going to be highlighting for as you read. Also, on the right side right here, you have several embedded questions and charts that you need to complete. Also, I added pictures throughout the poem with little explanations to help you visualize what you'll be reading. Okay, so with our highlighting key, we're going to be highlighting literary devices green, onomatopoeias pink, repetition yellow, and alliteration blue. So let's begin. The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. "Only this, and nothing more." All right, so several of these things are happening in this first stanza. So I noticed weak and weary for alliteration and nodded, nearly napping. That N sound and WW right here. I also noticed onomatopoeia with rapping, and tapping, maybe even muttered. Also, there's repetition with the "at my chamber door," and even rapping. So maybe I'll put a little yellow kind of in the middle there to show that's also repeating. Okay, so we have our first chart to complete. This is a say, mean, matter chart, and it's going to lead us through taking an important piece of the poem, and we're going to copy right here, to naming what we noticed and why, to finally figuring out the author's purpose. Okay, and specifically for this chart, we're going to look for a quote that is going to lead to a tone. And for tone, think of feeling. All right, so do what I'm doing. We are going to copy rapping at my chamber door. All right, let me take the whole line, that whole sentence, and copy that and paste into my chart. All right, I feel this is important. Well, what does this line mean? I'm going to name and explain the device. So this line is an example of repetition because it repeats the sound of knocking. Let me also add that it's onomatopoeia. Okay, so I named it and I explained why. The name is its repetition and onomatopoeia. Why? Because it's repeating this word rapping, which is also a sound of knocking. All right, so why does this matter? How does this establish a tone? Why did the author use this device? Well, to convey the feeling of urgency because, and type what I'm typing, because someone is desperately trying to enter the speaker's bedroom in the middle of the night. They're knocking, knocking, and it's midnight. And our speaker, he's in his chambers. Chambers a bedroom. So it's not like someone's knocking at the door to his house. Someone's knocking to get into his bedroom. Okay, so copy the work here. All right, then we go down and I give you the picture of the setting. And then I ask, what is the mood of this setting? I say the mood is gloomy. I've also heard other students say it's creepy or it's lonely or even like this feeling that it's cold. It's cold and dark. All right. Last stanza that I will do with you. Stanza 2. Ah, distinctly I remember. It was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow. Vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here for evermore. All right, so several things going on. I highlighted repetition and alliteration, and I also highlighted this literary device of symbolism. Also, could argue that it's personification as well, because these embers can't really throw ghosts upon the floor. So what symbolically does that mean? So the embers are symbolism. Like the dying embers, the man, which we know as the speaker, the speaker is like the narrator, but for a poem we call him a speaker. Like the dying embers, the man felt like his life was fading away or coming to an end due to the weight of his sorrows. Okay, so copy that. Also, I skipped this one. The speaker is remembering. Right here where we see distinctly, I remember. So in literature, when we're remembering, that is a flashback. Okay, and then finally, an inference question. Inferencing is going to be a huge skill for you this year and for the rest of high school and beyond. So from reading this stanza, what inference can we make by lost Lenore? What do you think is meant by the lost Lenore? Well, I'm going to make an inference that Lenore is lost because Lenore is dead. She has died. which also all of these depressing tones and this depressing setting and mood, that also aligns with this woman who obviously he's very in love with. You know, he says she's a rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore. It sounds to me like she is gone. She is dead. Okay, so please continue reading through the poem. Now with a partner, do all your highlighting and pause to answer questions that are on the side. And then when you get to this yellow marker, that's when you're going to stop working with your partner and you're going to start working independently. So I can see your work as an independent thinker. All right, let me know if you have any questions.